What's up, everybody? It's the Why We Love Horror Watchalong show. I'm JWMaher. That's Aaron Brooks. Aaron, what's going on today?
Hey, good to be here. Excited to continue our search through the darkness for some pretty good movies. Part three this week, as any movie from In Search of Darkness is able to be selected, and I really excited to talk about the movies that I have watched today.
Fair enough. And I always forget to this at the top. We're doing the Why We Love Horror 2026 third annual Letterboxd challenge. This is the third week of the third prompt. Just any movie in any of the In Search of Darkness documentaries that you haven't watched. Once again, I think my movie comes first in chronological order, and it's probably better because I think it is definitely, I know which movie you watched. Mine is definitely the weaker movie of the two. I watched 1981's Graduation Day, which is about a track and field team nearing the end of the school year, just 2 days removed from graduation day. But prior to that, at one of the meets, one of the star runners, I guess it's a distance runner, has like a heart attack or some kind of event and dies after she finishes the race. And then immediately after, a killer begins targeting the remaining members of the team. It's an 80s slasher, so it's got the mechanics are correct and some of the kills are okay, but I don't think the people that wrote this movie went to high school or played sports, which is kind of, you'd think they would need to know the basics of that to make the stuff going on in the movie believable. Like, for example, one of the characters also plays football. Now, we're 2 days removed from the end of the school year, which means the football season would have completed in November.
Right.
Track season runs from like March to May. This kid is clearly on the track team. The next day, he's in the woods in a full football outfit, just like with his football. It's like, why the fuck would that happen outside of a parody movie? I don't know, but it's played totally straight, and that happens like every scene. Something that should not happen in the mechanics of a school year happens. There's also a scene where the killer attacks somebody, and the light hits the mask, and it makes the mask translucent. And you could see the killer's face, so you know exactly who the killer is. And they left that in the movie. It should be on Versus. This is a 2-star movie.
I missed that one, and I will continue to. I did a day movie as well. The day we're recording this on is the day that this movie is called April Fool's Day. I just figured, why not? It's today. Let's go ahead and watch it. 1986. Fred Walton, who also did When a Stranger Calls, directed this one, and it's a very well-made, like, I'm going to say this for a couple of the movies I watched this week, really well-made 80s slasher here. This one has very little gore in it. I think that's one of the things that probably keeps it from, like, blowing up, I think, but it's about a group of college friends who go to their rich parents' secluded island home, and they start getting picked off one by one. It's kind of like a little clue to it at some points in the movie. It takes place on April Fool's Day as well, so it's like integrated into the movie, and the ending is really, really interesting as well. So, like, I'm glad I watched this. I think it's under talked about. I don't think it's like the best 80s underrated slasher at all, but it's a 3.5 for me. It's almost a 4. Like, it was really, really, a good time, and I think that other people would be surprised if they gave it a chance.
I definitely watched this movie like pre-Letterboxd days, and I think the only thing I think that's great about it is the novelty of it. I can't say what's novel about it without spoiling the entire movie, so you know what I'm talking about. So I'm probably floating around a 3 for April Fool's Day. But
I feel like they felt like actual friends. Like, they really they were it was well performed too. It was better than it should have been.
And on top of the Why We Love Horror Letterboxd challenge, we're also doing an additional self-imposed challenge. Aaron and I gave each other 100 movies. These are the 100 movies that Aaron gave me, and those are the 100 movies that I gave Aaron. We're working our way through. Aaron is working his way through earlier movies. I'm a little later on in the chronology of the human beings. So we'll start with Aaron. What was the first movie you watched this week?
So I am, I've worked my way out of the 70s. I'm into the 80s, so these are a few more like obvious movies I should have watched by now, but I didn't. First one, The Howling. I'll keep it short. I didn't love this movie. I didn't hate it. It was kind of a mixed bag for me. I thought like it was a good enough story. I thought it was like paced oddly and kind of, and the effects are like equal. They really are. So like if the movie that followed were a little better, I assume this probably would have held up. For me, I didn't love it though, so it was okay. I probably should have came to it earlier. 3, probably.
I'm a champion of The Howling. I feel that An American Werewolf in London is just so good and so like heralded that like nobody cares about The Howling. I think that's kind of like the prevailing opinion in the community. It's like the American Werewolf in London, we can stop the conversation. But I think The Howling is like really good if you can like put out of your mind that American Werewolf in London exists. This movie came out first, and it does a lot of this stuff just as good. I'm not sure. If you put a gun to my head, I'd probably say American Werewolf in London barely beats it, but I'm like way up there on this movie. I'm like a 4.5 for that one.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, that we differ at times, so that's fine.
Yeah.
And then my other one, also from 1981, My Bloody Valentine. This was great. Really, really great. I saw the 3D version in theaters when that came out, and I just assumed that this was just not very good, and I was wrong. This is like, I feel like on the Rushmore of underrated 80s slashers. Like it has to be one of the 4 that you bring up. It just does nothing incorrectly, and like other than like the classic, like these high schoolers look like they're 30, 80s.
They're Canadian. It's fine.
They are Canadian. Sorry. I gave it a 4. It was really, really solid. Like there's just nothing really wrong about it.
I agree with everything you said. My Bloody Valentine, if you haven't seen it, see it. It's also a 4 for me. Is it like it's probably in the top 10. I mean, it's right. If not, it's right outside of it. Like, I don't know. Like there's definitely a few movies that did that, nail it way better, but like this is really good. Like, so I would say watch it. You'll have a good time. And there's some iconic stuff that happens in this movie.
For sure.
Moving on to my movies. The first movie I watched, I'm very happy I finally got around to getting to this. I had watched Psycho a million times. I watched Psycho 2 last year, and I'm finally watching Psycho 3 this year. Hooray! I don't know if I'm going to watch Psycho 4. It doesn't seem like it's good. And I did watch the Gus Van Sant Psycho as well. But Psycho 3, like I said in my review on Letterboxd, like the one thing this franchise has going for it is the people that wrote these scripts and fleshed these movies out were experts at retconning. Like this is like Psycho to Psycho 2 and Psycho 2 to Psycho 3. It's like you know nothing. And they go in and they just throw a whole new story at you and they make it make sense, which is very hard to do given the leaps they take in this movie. Again, so at the end of Psycho 2, we find out that Norman's mother is not his mother. His mother is really his aunt. And she's come back and she was working at the restaurant he worked at, and then she was killing a bunch of people. And at the end of the movie, he just clobbers her with a shovel. And now she's the mother from Psycho as a dead body in the house. And there's a new batch of people dying, and we have no idea what's going on again. Who's killing them this time? Norman's rehabilitated. What the hell? But twists and turns. Dana Scarwood's in this, and Jeff Fahey shows up again in another 80s movie. It's a good time. Is it the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life? Absolutely not. But I appreciate the writing in this movie like so much. 3.5 for me on Psycho 3.
Yeah, it's high quality. Carter Burwell does the score.
Yes,
Oscar winning Carter Burwell. 4 stars for me. I just feel like the first 3 Psychos are incredible, and that is just too kept of a secret, in my opinion, in the community.
Yeah, if you were turned off by the fact, why would they make sequels to Psycho? You owe it to yourself to watch. You owe it to yourself to watch Psycho 2 and 3. They do an incredible job. If you think they shouldn't exist, whatever. You haven't seen them. They're really good. Yeah. Second thing on the list, it's a movie I've circled around a lot. I never really got around to watching it, and it has 1,000 titles. Blood Rage from 1987. It technically was made in 1983 as Blood Rage, though the title in the movie is Slasher. It was made in 83. It was released in theaters in 1987, and it shows because it doesn't, I mean, even though it's 4 years, it doesn't feel like 1987 in the movie. And it was released in theaters as Nightmare at Shadow Woods because that's the housing development that they're at the entire time. What a crazy, like, I'm surprised the premise really hasn't been done before. I guess it's kind of like if Goodnight Mommy was a slasher movie.
Yes.
Because we have twins. The mom was like Louise Lasser plays the mom. Woody Allen's ex-wife, Louise Lasser, plays the mom. And it's weird because like the movie starts 10 years in the past and she already looks old. And I guess this is that purpose because in the 80s she looks the same. But it was like a shock to me that they did that. And like, she's not like sleeping around, but the boys just don't like that she's a single mom. And it causes the one kid to have a homicidal episode, but he frames the innocent brother, and that brother is catatonic. They give him the Michael Myers treatment. They ship him away for the rest of his life in like an institution. But then one day he escapes, but he's the good brother, and the homicidal brother is living life as if nothing happened. And the fact that the brother escapes triggers the homicidal brother to become homicidal again, and hijinks ensue. I would say like the special effects in this movie, the effects team working overtime. The actors not so much.
No, they're very.
But just for the effects alone and the kills alone, and just like the fact that it kind of isn't taking itself seriously, I'll give it a 3. It's definitely it's a romp. I'll watch it.
Yeah, no, I like this a lot more than you. I give it a 4. I thought the practicals are great. I think it's a great Thanksgiving horror movie.
It is Thanksgiving. Yeah.
This is better than Thanksgiving. So like it's just like, yeah, I would say that. It's a bunch of dumb people getting sliced. It's a great time. It's romp.
Yeah, and the funny thing is like it's such a good the premise of like the killer being who he is so good because like everyone that gets killed just doesn't expect they're about to be killed. It's like, oh hey Terry, splat every fucking person. It's so great. Anyhow, last movie I saw, I know it's a movie like last year you were really, really high on. So I finally watched it. I understand why. This is 1987's The Caller with Malcolm McDowell and the wife from Funny Farm. Was it Madeline something?
The director of Hercules Takes New York.
Yeah. So this movie, it's very hard to talk. I'm not going to spoil the movie, but like, you can just give the premise without spoiling it. A woman is at her house, and this guy is like, is he stalking her? What's the deal? How do they know so much about each other? How does he know so much about her? How does she know so much about him? And you kind of slowly give you clues, but the clues they're giving you really don't make any sense. Like they say offhanded things to each other. You're like, what people don't talk to each other that way. But then you find out that like there's more to this. And when the reveals start happening at the end, you're like, wow, I had no clue that's where this was going. And it's kind of a movie you probably have to watch at least twice.
Yeah, definitely.
But I understand why you're so high on it. I am at a 4.5 for The Caller.
Yeah, 5 for me. This is just one of my favorite watches from the last year. It is, and just such a kept secret for some unknown reason. I don't know what
it never got a theatrical release. Apparently, it was screened at Cannes, and that's it. It never.
How did this get screened for people? And they're like, yeah, no one else needs to see this.
Yeah, I don't know. And then just basically somebody picked up the DVD rights down the road, and that's when people started hearing about it. So you probably haven't heard of The Caller, but watch The Caller. Good God, it's so fucking good.
Yeah.
All right, well, that'll do it for this week. Next week we have the 4th week of In Search of Darkness. We're back to do more picks from the In Search of Darkness franchise. But if you made it this far in the video, like, comment, subscribe, and share. Go to the Facebook group at Why We Love Horror. Here's the list. There's the Why We Love Horror list. There's my 100 movies, and there's Aaron's 100 movies. But until next time, I'm JWMaher, and that's Aaron Brooks. This has been the Watchalong Show for Why We Love Horror. We'll see you next time.